Alright everybody, a few videos ago, I asked everybody to send me their stories of going out trying to recover lost items. And y'all sent me some awesome stories. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off by telling you some of the failed recoveries, and then we'll talk about some of the good recoveries. You got to stay to the end of the video because the good ones are awesome. Stay tuned. Alright, this first story comes from Gold Shark Mark. He actually went out, started looking for a ring that the lady had lost, looked all over the yard, I'm sure, and apologized he couldn't find it. He gets a call 2 weeks later, she found it in the freezer. We talked about that before. They say they think they lost it here, I think they lost it there. They didn't know where they lost it at. They found it in the freezer. Can you believe it? All right, number 2 coming up. All right, this next story is from John H. He was asked to find a lost ring that was lost by a 92-year-old woman chasing cows. Who knows? But anyway, they said, well, we know exactly where we lost it. You know, we talked about this before, you know, trying to figure out where it was lost is the main thing. He said, well, that'd be good because I got an Equinox 800, Excalibur, all the good stuff to find it. So when he goes out there to find it, they pretty much marked off an entire pasture. He searched for like 3 hours. And of course, when you got that big of an area and that much stuff, you're not going to find it. Anyway, at least you tried, John. I appreciate you trying to find it anyway. All right, this next story comes from ROI Media Guy. Guy came up to him while he was metal detecting near the street right there and asked him, can you help me find my dog's vaccination tags? He needed tags back, right? No problem, he said. I'm right here. I'll go ahead and check it out for you. He metal detected around about 30 minutes and said, how long ago did you lose them? 3 years ago at the street where they run plows and stuff cleaning off and all. I tell you, you got to get as many details as you can in the beginning before you spend your time trying to find that stuff. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, this next story comes from Lisa K. Lisa said her and her husband were in the park metal detecting and finding all kind of good stuff. And a lady came up and said she had lost her ring back at the house, in the yard. Said, can you help me find it? Sure, like we all do. Sure, we'll go try to help you find it. They go back, she searches the entire yard, bumping each other. And the lady stays there. Every time she gets to see her, she says the lady's right there helping dig and trying to look for it and all. Well, they ended up not finding it. So the lady says, well, at least I know I didn't lose it in the yard. Who knows? She just saw it missing while she was in the yard. She could have left it in the house, dropped it over, who knows. Another story, getting the facts before we start. All right, this next story comes from B. Good. He was out doing some metal detecting in an old neighborhood in a strip of grass. You do find a lot of stuff in old neighborhoods, in the little strips and all. But anyway, a lady comes and says, does that thing find gold? Sure, find gold. He said, well, I lost one, you know, in my yard, ring in my yard. You can have anything you find in my yard, except, you know, if you go look for my ring. So that's the deal, you know. Anyway, let's talk about, finish the story. He went and looked all in the yard. He did find a barber dime and some grape shot. And had a good time out there doing it, but he did not find the ring. But sometimes you do get a little extras if you go help try to find the ring, especially if it's in an old neighborhood and all. And if you work a deal like that where you can keep everything that you go after, that's a good deal, even if you don't find the ring. So that's another way to try to get a little permission too. All right, this next story is from Diana Wilbur. Diana Wilbur is a little smarter than some of us. She was asked to go help try to find a ring that this person's mother lost. Well, she started asking some questions. She said, where'd she lose it at? Well, she was riding a four-wheeler down a path with some other four-wheelers. Mud splashed up, flew off her hand, kept going, and at least I guess she thinks she flew off her hand, down an entire path with other four-wheelers running through there, splashing stuff everywhere. And they said, you really want me? I guess she kind of started questioning, I can look for it, but they said, nah, don't worry about it. So she got the goods on it before she started because she knew she would have probably wasted whatever time she spent doing it. So good job, Diana. Good job for asking the right questions and knowing when not to spend the extra time to go look. There's times when you should go, and there's times when you shouldn't. All right, let's talk about some of the ones that were found. Here we go. All right, this first find story comes from Huck Fins J. He was actually down in Gitmo. He actually used a detective down in Gitmo, first person to hunt the base down there. He didn't tell me what they found, but I'm sure he did pretty good. I appreciate your service too, because if you were down there in Gitmo and all, I know you were serving our country. I appreciate that. But anyway, he came back to Virginia Beach, and he broke out his metal detectors and went out on the beach. It's been a few years back, but he found a very large ring. Diamond ring. And so he said, pretty happy about finding a diamond ring, right? But he checked the newspaper to see if there's anybody lost, and sure enough, there was an article in the paper about someone losing a very large diamond ring. But you know, you got to be careful because you never know. There could be 2 large diamond rings lost. You just don't know, because if y'all remember my one ring I found, I was looking for one person's stuff, and I found a ring right there. So that's not mine. So you got to be careful. So he did the right thing. He called her up and said, what did it look like, you know? And she described it perfectly. Says, okay, meet me at the beach. So she came down to the beach, and where'd you lose it at? Pointed right where he found it at. I think it was right there, right where he found it. So he returned a very large diamond ring, and he got a nice reward for it. He didn't tell me how much, but I'm sure he got a pretty good amount, because it must have been a pretty good size ring. So congratulations on the find, and thank you for keeping up with making us all look good, Huck Fence J. Thank you. All right, this next story is from Shane Newbold of the United Kingdom, the old UK. He heard about a lost man's wedding band, went down to the beach to try to find it, and this is where Shane does right. You know, when he got there, he wasn't exactly sure. We had talked about area, how big an area to look in and all, because you could spend forever if you don't know. He video called her on, I forget, he video called anyway, and got down there, and I guess they used a video to show exactly where it was lost. He said, bam, there it was, right there. Knowing the location is key. Location, location, location. Good job, Shane. All right, this next story comes from Roger S. He was actually a metal detector on a soccer field, and some people came up and asked him could they help him find a lost wedding band, woman's wedding band, in a campsite. Now, y'all know how campsites are. Oh my God, I can't imagine all the trash, people sitting around throwing stuff. It's got to be loaded. But he said he was lucky. They knew they did lose it in a 10-foot by 20-foot area. That's the key to this find, is knowing that small area that was in. So he said first he cleared the entire area out of all the trash and started making a second pass, all the light top ground trash and all. So he started making a second pass right after he dug a bottle top. Bam! There it was, the woman's wedding band. He said it was a really thrill to return the wedding band. And he actually later on, that was the first one he's ever returned, but he did return some dog tags, and he said he returned the iPhone 10, but the shovel hit the top of the screen and crushed the screen. And that happens a lot at the beach when you're recovering iPhones, man, because you don't know what you're recovering. You know, you put that shovel, that scoop down in there, bam, it can tear an iPhone up quick, and I've done it. But anyway, all right, this next story is from Ring Finder Ray, and Ray does find a ring. He was asked to find a lost wedding ring that the guy had lost out surfing on a bar, but it was a heirloom. It came from his grandfather. His grandfather never took it off his whole life. He gave it to, his mother gave it to him, and he said he would never take it off, and he lost it. And you know, something like that is just heartbreaking when somebody loses, especially an heirloom type thing like that. Well, Ring Finder Ray found it for him, and the guy was very appreciative to him. Good job, Ring Finder Ray, because that's the kind of things that we really love to return, especially the ones that really have some family meaning and some heirloom type of stuff like that. I did one like that. I found a little gold thing that come from the grandmother and all, but that really does make you feel good when you do that. Good job. Keep it up. All right, this next story comes from Stephen Riccaboni. He was actually out, and this is in Long Beach Island, New Jersey. He was out there, and he saw 3 teenage kids dragging racks from the sand, looking all around in the sand. So he went up and asked them, what are y'all doing out here? He said, one of the boys had lost a cell phone he said he won't supposed to lose. Of course, he never supposed to lose it, but I think his mom would give it to him. He was kind of very upset that he had lost it. So he said, let me go home and get the detector and check it out, see if I can find it for you. So he went out there and started searching. He said a 20-yard by 20, which is a pretty good size area, where they thought they had lost it at. So looking. So he said, well, let's check over here, away from where they thought they lost it, and bam, there it was. I mean, location. If they had known it had been that small area, he would have found it in 2 minutes. Otherwise, I'm not sure how long he spent, but I bet he spent a pretty good while looking until they said, well, let's try over here. Bam, there it was. You just never know. You got to get that location where it was at. All right, the next story comes from Marcel Dubois. Now, he had an old friend call him up about crying, say he had lost his wedding band, matching wedding band to his wife's, very upset. They said he had been working on a tractor, greasing up and all, came in the house, started washing hands, And that's when you notice. You notice it's missing, and you say, well, he must have lost it back then. And in this case, he did. But anyway, I guess he had told him where he had lost it at, so he went out there, not long, found the ring. But this is what makes the story good. I love doing this when I find some people, kind of give them throw a little something in there with it. So he took a bottle cap and hit it inside of a bottle cap. So yeah, all I found was this, and pulled out one in his wife's hand. The bottle cap, but then the ring showed up. And she loved it. Oh my God. I'm sure he got lots of hugs and everything. But, you know, it's nice to kind of play it up a little bit. As long as you find it, you know, then you can kind of play it. If you don't find it, you can't do that. But as long as you find it, you can tease them a little bit with it anyway. I like doing that. All right, this next story comes from Relic Retriever. He actually was called up by a member of his church and asked him to find a lost wedding ring that the woman had been wearing for 50 years. And it just so happened to be the anniversary. So she says she thought she had lost it around, she had a koi pine and some flowers. So felt like it should be somewhere in that general area. So sure enough, Relic Retriever went out there. 45 minutes later, finds a diamond ring. Her and her husband were ecstatic and very happy they found it and all. Well, the next week, little did my buddy here know that she had terminal cancer, and she died the next week. So you just never know. I'm sure that really set her at peace a little bit anyway, instead of being the last thing she's thinking was worrying about a lost wedding ring. So you just never know how much impact you have on people's lives when you do go out and find some of these things. Some of these things are very, you know, dear to them, and when you find them like that, man, it just makes your day for sure. Anyway, we're talking about location. You hear a lot of these stories, and if you know where it was lost at, and you see me finding them on the beach, hey, I just lost it right there. You know, bam, you can pretty much find that. Last one I found out in the water, they were looking for it in a general area. I mean, within no time. First hit I got, and you know the numbers normally in the ring, it was like 15. I knew that was probably, I just knew that this was going to be it right here. But, you know, that's another thing too. If you do have another gold object just like the one that was lost, it's good to get a reading. If you had earrings, they lost one, you can take the reading on the other one, and you know exactly the number. If you know the exact number you're looking for, it does help. A large man's wedding ring might be a little different than a little small women's band or something. So if you can kind of get the numbers right, that does help too. Location, get those numbers, the size of the area. Like a couple of them you heard, they're looking for a whole pasture. You'll never find it, right? Or going down a quarter-mile trail on a four-wheeler, you're never gonna find it. So I mean, you got to know when to cut it off and when to go look hard. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed those stories. I really did. If any of y'all got any more stories, post them in this one. I love reading them. I won't do another video about it. Just love reading these stories. Finds, you know, we're not all out there trying to steal people's stuff, and we love returning stuff, but hey, you know, if you find you can't return it, you know, that's a good thing for us too, but we'd rather return it if we can. So anyway, I appreciate everybody coming along. This is going to be the Gigmaster signing off. I hope your next target is a bucket lister. Alright, thanks for coming along. Don't forget to like, comment below, share, and subscribe to the Gigmaster.